Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Talks Sarah, the podcast where we talk, we laugh, we learn, and yes, we speak English together. I'm Sarah, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful friend and co-host.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex. And I have to be honest, I was a little nervous before we started recording today.
Wait, nervous? Alex, you come here every week.
I know. But every time I speak English on mic, there's this little voice in my head that says, what if you say it wrong?
Oh, that little voice. I know that voice very well. You know what I call it?
What?
The doubt monster. And today, we are going to fight that doubt monster together.
I love that. The doubt monster. Okay, yes, let's fight it.
And honestly, the doubt monster is not just your problem, Alex. I think every single person learning a new language has their own version of it. Some people hear it when they're about to speak in a meeting. Some hear it when a native speaker asks them to repeat something. Some even hear it when they're just practicing alone in their room.
That's so comforting to hear, actually. I always thought it was just me.
Never just you. Never. That's why we're here together, right? To remind each other and everyone listening that the doubt monster only has power when you stay silent. The moment you open your mouth and try, it gets a little smaller every single time.
Okay, I feel better already. And we haven't even started the lesson yet.
That's the magic of Talks Sarah. All right, friends, let's get into today's episode. It's a big one. We have speaking practice, shadowing sentences, real stories, and our word tour at the end. So get comfortable, get a drink of water, and let's go. So today's episode is all about speaking, not just listening, not just reading grammar rules, actually opening your mouth and making sounds, real English sounds.
And I think a lot of people skip that part, right? Like, I used to study English for hours, vocabulary lists, grammar exercises, but when someone asked me a simple question like, how was your weekend? I just froze.
You froze. Why?
Because I never practiced saying it out loud. I only studied it in my head. And there's a big difference between knowing English in your head and speaking it with your mouth.
That is such an important point, Alex. Say it again for the people in the back.
There's a big difference between knowing English and speaking English.
Exactly. And the only way to close that gap, to move English from your brain to your mouth, is to practice speaking every single day, even for 5 minutes.
5 minutes feels so small, though. Does it really make a difference?
Oh, absolutely. Think about it this way. If you do 5 minutes every day for 1 month, that's 2.5 hours of speaking practice. But if you wait for the perfect moment to study for 1 big hour, that moment never really comes, does it?
That's so true. I'm the king of waiting for the perfect moment.
And where has the perfect moment taken you so far?
Still waiting.
Here's something I want every listener to really think about. Language is not a subject, it's a skill. And skills are built through doing, not just through knowing. You cannot learn to swim by reading about swimming. You cannot learn to speak English by only studying grammar books.
You have to get in the water.
Exactly. You have to get in the water, even when it's uncomfortable, because that discomfort, that's growth happening.
Discomfort equals growth. I'm going to remember that.
Write it down. Stick it on your wall. Discomfort is not a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're learning. So today, we're going to practice something called shadowing. Alex, have you heard of this technique before?
I've heard the word, but honestly, I wasn't sure what it meant. Does it mean speaking in the dark?
No darkness required. Shadowing means you listen to someone speak English, like me right now, and then you repeat what I said. You copy the sound, the rhythm, the feeling of the sentence.
like an echo.
Yes, exactly like an echo. You become my shadow. And the beautiful thing about shadowing is you're not just learning words, you're training your mouth. You're teaching your lips and your tongue how English feels.
That's actually a really nice way to think about it. Your mouth needs practice just like your brain does.
Right. Think about a musician. They don't just read sheet music and say, okay, I understand how this song works. They play it again and again until their fingers just know where to go.
Oh, I like that. So shadowing is like playing the instrument of your own voice.
I love that, Alex. Can I steal that?
It's all yours.
And here's something most people don't realize about shadowing. It's not just about pronunciation. Yes, your sounds will get clearer, but shadowing also trains your brain to think in English. When you repeat sentences out loud, those patterns go into your memory. So the next time you need to say something similar, it comes out faster, more automatically.
So you're basically downloading English into your brain.
Yes, you are downloading English one sentence at a time. And every time you practice, you're running the update. So don't skip, because every day you skip, the update pauses.
Okay, that makes me want to practice every single day now, which I think is the point.
Which is exactly the point. All right, listeners, are you ready? Let's do this together. Okay, listeners, this is your moment. You're going to shadow along with Alex. Here's how it works. I say a sentence, Alex repeats it, and then you repeat it too. Out loud. Yes, out loud. Not in your head, in your actual voice. Ready?
Ready. A little nervous, but ready.
That's the spirit. Let's go. I am learning English every single day.
I am learning English every single day.
Your turn. Say it out loud. My voice gets stronger every time I speak.
My voice gets stronger every time I speak.
Beautiful. Again with me. Your turn, listener. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to keep going.
I don't need to be perfect. I just need to keep going.
Oh, I love this one. Say it like you mean it. I am comfortable making mistakes in English.
I am comfortable making mistakes in English.
Are you though, Alex?
I'm trying to be.
That counts. Trying counts. Listener, your turn. Every day I understand a little bit more.
Every day, I understand a little bit more.
I speak slowly, and that's completely okay.
I speak slowly, and that's completely okay.
Slowly is not wrong. Slowly is thoughtful. English is a journey, not a race.
English is a journey, not a race.
I show up and I try. That is enough.
I show up and I try. That is enough.
Say that one again, both of us. I am building my English one conversation at a time.
I am building my English one conversation at a time.
I trust myself. I trust my voice.
I trust myself. I trust my voice.
Wonderful. That was your first 10 sentences. How are you feeling, Alex?
Honestly, good. Like, I notice when I say things out loud, they start to feel more real, more mine.
That is exactly the feeling. That's the shadowing magic working. Listeners, did you feel that too? I hope you did. And I want to say something before we move on. If you stumbled on a word, that's okay. If your pronunciation wasn't perfect, that is completely fine. The goal right now is not perfection. The goal is participation. The goal is that your mouth moved and your voice came out. If you did that, even once, you are already doing better than the version of yourself who stayed silent.
Practice first, sound good later.
That's the order, always. Can I share something personal for a second?
Please, yes.
When I first started speaking English, not teaching it, just speaking it, I used to practice in my bathroom every morning, looking in the mirror, saying sentences to myself.
In the bathroom?
In the bathroom, I would be brushing my teeth and thinking, how do I say this in English? And I would try, sometimes badly, but I tried. And slowly, that bathroom English became real English.
That's brilliant, though, because you had no audience, no pressure, just you and the mirror.
Exactly. And that's what I want for every listener today. Find your bathroom, find your safe space, and speak, even if no one hears you, especially if no one hears you.
So the rule is, don't wait until you're ready. The speaking is how you get ready.
Yes, that's the whole lesson, honestly.
You know, I had a similar moment. I was on a call in English once, and the client asked me to explain something again. My mind just went blank. I said, about 5 times and stopped.
What happened?
The client waited. They said, take your time. But I felt so embarrassed. Not because my English was bad, but because I had never practiced speaking under pressure.
And that's a real lesson. We need to practice speaking in all kinds of situations, calm ones, nervous ones, tired ones, because life will ask you to speak in all of those moments.
That's why shadowing helps so much. When the sentences feel automatic, you have something to hold on to even when you're nervous.
Sentences that feel automatic become your safety net. That's why we practice, not just to know the words, but to own them. Okay, we're not done yet. Let's do 10 more sentences. These are a little longer, but you're ready. I believe that. Speaking out loud is the fastest way to improve my English.
Speaking out loud is the fastest way to improve my English.
Every time I repeat a sentence, it becomes easier to say.
Every time I repeat a sentence, it becomes easier to say.
I am not embarrassed to practice. Practicing is brave.
I am not embarrassed to practice. Practicing is brave.
The more I listen, the better I understand the music of English.
The more I listen, the better I understand the music of English.
I choose to speak, even when I feel unsure about the words.
I choose to speak, even when I feel unsure about the words.
Small steps forward are still steps in the right direction.
Small steps forward are still steps in the right direction.
Oh, that one is going on my wall.
Same.
I am proud of myself for trying something new today.
I am proud of myself for trying something new today.
English is becoming more natural to me with every practice session.
English is becoming more natural to me with every practice session.
I give myself permission to learn at my own pace.
I give myself permission to learn at my own pace.
This one is important. Say it again slowly.
I give myself permission to learn at my own pace.
My English story is just beginning, and it's already something to celebrate.
My English story is just beginning, and it's already something to celebrate.
Yes, 20 sentences done. Alex, how are you feeling now compared to the start?
Genuinely, so much better. There's something about saying positive sentences out loud. It's like they go into your body, not just your brain.
That's the secret ingredient, you know? We didn't just practice English today. We practiced believing in ourselves, in English. And listeners, did you feel a shift? Maybe your voice got steadier. Maybe you stumbled less on the second repeat. That is practice working in real time. That is your brain and your mouth becoming friends.
Your brain and your mouth becoming friends. I love that.
Because for a lot of learners, the brain knows so much English, but the mouth is still shy, still hesitating. Shadowing is how you introduce them to each other, and slowly they find their rhythm together.
That's honestly one of the most useful things I've ever heard about why speaking practice is different from everything else.
The more you speak, the shorter the distance between what you know and what you can say. Last stretch, you're amazing. 10 more and we reach 30. Ready, Alex?
Born ready.
I notice that my listening is improving every week.
I notice that my listening is improving every week.
I enjoy the challenge of learning something difficult.
I enjoy the challenge of learning something difficult.
I repeat, I improve, I grow. That is my routine.
I repeat, I improve, I grow. That is my routine.
Confidence in English comes from speaking, not from waiting.
Confidence in English comes from speaking, not from waiting.
I create new habits and they are working.
I create new habits and they are working.
My pronunciation gets clearer every time I practice out loud.
My pronunciation gets clearer every time I practice out loud.
I celebrate every small win on my English journey.
I celebrate every small win on my English journey.
What's your small win today, Alex?
I said 30 sentences out loud without stopping. That's my win.
That is a real win. Listeners, what's yours? I am consistent, I am patient, and I am growing.
I am consistent, I am patient, and I am growing.
Today, I chose to practice, and that choice makes all the difference.
Today, I chose to practice, and that choice makes all the difference.
I speak English with heart, and I get better every single day.
I speak English with heart, and I get better every single day.
30 sentences. Done. Complete. Finished. You did it.
That was genuinely fun, and I feel so much more relaxed now than when we started.
That's the power of speaking practice. The fear gets smaller every time you open your mouth. And I just want to take a moment here. 30 sentences is not nothing. That is 30 moments where you chose to speak instead of staying quiet. 30 moments of real progress. So after this episode ends, say one more sentence out loud. Just one. I practiced English today. Keep the momentum going.
I'm doing that too, right after we finish.
Because a little bit every day always beats a lot every month. Okay, before we go, it's time for our favorite part of the show. Alex, you know what that means?
Word tour, let's go.
Today, we're looking at 5 key words from our practice. I'll give you the meaning, an example sentence, and then we both say it together. Listeners, shadow along. And this is important. Don't just listen to these words. Say them, repeat them with us, because hearing a word is the first step, but saying a word, that's when it becomes yours.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's do this. Word 1, shadowing, noun.
Shadowing means copying how someone speaks, their sounds, their rhythm, their energy. It's a powerful language learning technique. When you shadow, you don't just hear English, you feel it. You live inside it for a moment.
Example, I practice shadowing every morning for 10 minutes.
I practice shadowing every morning for 10 minutes.
Your turn, listener. Say it out loud.
And if you can, try to say it the same way Sarah does. Don't worry about sounding exactly like her. Just feel the rhythm. Feel how the sentence moves. Word 2, confidence, noun.
Confidence means believing in yourself and your abilities. When you feel confident, you feel strong and sure. And here's what's important. Confidence in English doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being consistent, from practicing even when you don't feel ready. Example, my confidence in speaking English is growing every week. My confidence in speaking English is growing every week.
My confidence in speaking English is growing every week. I actually feel that sentence when I say it. Like, saying it out loud makes me believe it more.
That's exactly how it works. When you say something positive out loud, your brain starts to accept it as your reality. Say it again, listeners, and mean it. Word 3, consistent, adjective. Consistent means doing something regularly, not just once in a while. If you practice English consistently, you practice every day or most days. You show up. Even on the tired days, even on the busy days.
Consistency is not about being perfect every day. It's about coming back every day. Example, being consistent with practice is more important than studying for hours once a month. Being consistent with practice is more important than studying for hours once a month.
Being consistent with practice is more important than studying for hours once a month. That's honestly something I wish someone had told me years ago. I used to study really hard for a week and then do nothing for 3 weeks.
And then start all over from the beginning.
Every single time.
Every single time.
Consistency would have saved me so much time.
It really is the secret. Small and regular always wins over big and occasional. Word 4. Rhythm. Noun. Rhythm in English means the natural flow and beat of the language, how some words are stressed and others are light. Every language has its own rhythm. When you shadow, you absorb that rhythm. You stop translating word by word and start to feel the sentence as a whole. Example, when I shadow out loud, I start to feel the rhythm of English. When I shadow out loud, I start to feel the rhythm of English.
When I shadow out loud, I start to feel the rhythm of English. I think rhythm is something you can only get from speaking, right? You can't learn it from a book.
Exactly right. Rhythm lives in the spoken language. Say the example one more time and feel it. When I shadow out loud, I start to feel the rhythm of English. Word 5. Permission.
When I shadow out loud, I start to feel the rhythm of English. Word 5, permission.
Permission means allowing something to happen. When we say give yourself permission, we mean stop being hard on yourself. Let yourself learn at your own pace. Let yourself make mistakes. Let yourself be a beginner. So many learners hold themselves back because they're waiting for some invisible moment when they'll be good enough to speak. But that moment only comes after you've already spoken. So give yourself permission to start now, exactly as you are. Example, I give myself permission to make mistakes and learn from them. I give myself permission to make mistakes and learn from them.
I give myself permission to make mistakes and learn from them.
Say that one twice, it's that good. I give myself permission to make mistakes and learn from them.
I give myself permission to make mistakes and learn from them. You know, I think permission might be my favorite word from today, because I think that's actually what most learners are missing. Not vocabulary, not grammar, just permission.
Permission to be imperfect. Permission to be learning. Permission to be exactly where you are right now and still be worthy of speaking English.
That hit differently.
Good. Let it. And that, dear friends, is a wrap on today's episode of Talk Sarah. How was that for you?
Honestly, Sarah, every time I do this, I remember why I love learning English. It's not about being perfect, it's about the feeling of growing.
The feeling of growing. That's beautiful, Alex. I'm going to steal that too.
You can have it.
Listeners, you showed up today. You spoke, you tried, and that means everything. Remember, the doubt monster loses every time you open your mouth and speak.
So open your mouth every day, even for 5 minutes.
Especially for 5 minutes. And if today was your first time doing something like this, welcome, genuinely welcome. You just took one of the bravest steps in your English journey because speaking takes courage, and you did it today.
And if you've been here before, welcome back. Every time you return to this practice, you get a little better, even if you can't see it yet. The progress is building quietly. And one day, someone will ask you something in English, and the answer will come out smooth, natural, confident, and you'll think, when did that happen?
And the answer will be it happened all those times you showed up, all those 5-minute sessions, all those shadowing sentences you said when no one was watching.
It all counts, every single bit of it.
So keep going. Come back tomorrow. We'll be here. Every episode is a new chance to grow.
We'll see you next time.
Until then, keep talking, keep growing, and remember, your voice matters.
See you next time on Talk Sarah.
Bye. See you next time on Talk Sarah.